Jason, you're going to hear a beep in just a second because I'm bringing you on, okay? But before we go very far into this, I want to ask a couple of very sincere but very important questions, okay? Because I want to hear this message, but the first thing I want to know is, how do you know this is from God?
Well, basically, it says in the Bible that God does nothing unless he reveals it to his prophets first. And that's where I'm getting it from. So what happened is...
Wait, hang on. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here so we know. Because remember, I had two questions, very sincere, very genuine questions. The first one, you're saying the reason you know this is from God is because at some point in the Bible, it said that God reveals messages to his prophets first, and you got this message from a prophet?
Yes. And
okay, hang on. That's fine. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I've got a lot to push back there, but again, I am interested in hearing what this message is. But before we do that, my other very important question is, why should Armin and I give a damn? Okay, so you say it's from God, but why does that matter to us?
Well, aren't you guys looking for God? Don't you want to know that he exists? Don't your viewers want to know that? Aren't you guys...
I would be interested, yeah, for sure, if there is any good demonstration of God's existence. Absolutely, that's what we're here for. But yeah, like you're just saying the reason we should care that this is a message from God is simply because it does prove God's existence. Is that...
Yeah, so you guys are looking for God, so this will prove it. And then
cool. I'm with you. I'm just making sure. Again, I've got a bunch to push back on both of those things, but I genuinely do just want to hear what this message is. So, what did God say to you about what is going to happen?
Okay, so there's a list. So bear with me here. I'll just say the list, and then we can go back.
How many things are on the list? I've got a bunch of calls, so I want to try to make it as efficient as possible.
Try to shorten it to 4. How about that?
That'll work. Let's do 4.
So one, there's a terrorist attack that's going to be imminent. It's coming soon, probably between now and the end of the year.
Any other more information on it? Any more precise info, or just there is a terrorist attack?
Well, only that our government opened the door, and this is deliberate. So this is from inside, and there's...
So in America? Are you saying this is in the United States?
Yeah.
There will be a terrorist attack in the United States that can be demonstrated at the time that the United States government let the terrorists do it. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me. Am I correct?
Yes, the government didn't do...
Number 2.
The government left open the southern border, so this could happen. This is what they wanted.
Okay, so that I just hang on, real quick, man, real quick, okay, because what you just said right there is fuck all out of nowhere, left field, stupid. So I want to make this as good and productive of a call as possible for you and me and Armin and all the wonderful viewers out there. What you just said has abso-fucking-lutely nothing to do with everything else you've just said about the government left the southern border open and it could happen there. Man, do you know how fucking easy it is to get into the United States on an airplane? Like, it's a hell of a lot easier than walking through desert. But here's the point. Here's the reason I said that. Just go to the prophecy thing, man. You don't have to propaganda anything, okay? We already know you got shit to tell us. Just tell us that shit, okay? So, first point. Government gonna allow a terrorist attack to happen in the U.S. before the end of the year, and it will be proven at the time, it will be demonstrated at the time that our government let it happen. Awesome. I'm excited to see either that happen and you be proven correct, or you very humbly calling us back here in January of 2025 to say that you were wrong, because I feel like that's confident. So hang on, Armin. We got to go through these points. He's got 3 other prophecies. I want to try to get to him quick. So just rattle them off for me, okay? Number 2, Jason, what is the next prophecy?
the stock market and the housing market are all going to crash between now and the end of the year, going into next year.
Awesome.
And see it happen.
Awesome. So now, okay, so stock market's going to crash. So yeah, first point is that there's going to be a terrorist attack in the U.S. The government's gonna allow it, and it will be proven at the time that the government did it. The next one is that the stock market and the housing market are going to crash before the end of the year. Again, we're talking about the United States. What's the third one?
Okay, so there's going to be major blackout, major nationwide blackout that's going to happen.
Major nationwide blackout. Okay.
Is this God of the universe or God of the United States?
Yeah, it's very weirdly specific to just the U.S. But okay, what's the fourth one?
So, the angel of death is coming, just like in the book of Exodus. The same thing will happen. There's going to be the plagues, just like that. That'll mimic the book of Exodus. But the last one was an angel of death, and there will be mass death worldwide. And they will blame it on a fake.
Oh, worldwide! Finally, God realized that there's
other countries out there.
It's not just the U.S. Okay.
So, okay, Jason, I let you say the things because I did want to hear them. I was interested. I really was. I feel very much like my prediction, you know, my thought about where this would go is exactly where we are, where basically everything you have said is fairly mundane for the most part. Like a terrorist attack will happen. It's like, well, yeah, actually, like they happen all the time. Just depending on what you're talking about. Like domestic terrorism in the United States is every mass shooting, bro. Like, just so you know, we have like a crazy amount of those in the United States. So, you know, that is probably going to happen between now and the end of, you know, the year. The stock market thing and the housing market thing crashing, like that's a bit more specific, you know, that's something a bit more like we can see. Now, my worry here, Jason, is that what's going to happen is we're going to see a normal dip in the stock market or the housing market, which is a regular occurrence for these types of things. We're going to see a small or noticeable dip between now and the end of the year, and you'll go, haha, see, that's what I was talking about. But just so you know, just in case you weren't sure, this is recorded for posterity's sake. And so, again, in January, when these don't come true, which is my prediction, I hope that you will come back and you will say that you got all this wrong. But from there, we've got nationwide blackouts again, which, you know, could happen there's actually rolling blackouts going on right now in a bunch of different states in the United States because of the heat. Like I have friends that live in places where there are rolling blackouts going. So like, I guess that's already occurring. I don't know. And then just like mass death across the world. Like, do you know how many people die every day, man? Like none of these are particularly interesting. Armin, you seem to have grabbed a dog in the meantime. You don't seem very impressed with these prophecies. Is that what I'm hearing? This message from God is not impressive to you. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I just have a question from Jason. Is he going to stop believing in God? If how many prophecies do we have? We had four, right? If only 3 of them come true and any of them do not come true, Jason, are you going to stop believing in God if only 3 out of 4 of these come true and one of them doesn't?
Very good question.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll come back on here and admit that I'm wrong, but I'm not going to stop believing in God. But I will say that I missed it. And
so what's the point?
Why wouldn't you stop believing in God? If this is supposedly a message from God and you gave us at least earlier a bit of a methodology for how you know that this is a message from God. You're not just pulling it out of your ass, man. Like this is from the prophets, man. So like you did the work is what it sounds like to me, brother. I want to honor that. I want to say, look, man, if this is wrong, the only answer could be not your incapability. You're not an idiot. You know what you're doing. You know how to understand messages from God. So if this is wrong, why is that not confirmation that God isn't real?
Well, let's say that say three out of four happen, but one doesn't, or happens in a different way. Sometimes people understand prophecy where it's not wrong, but just misunderstood exactly what the Lord was saying, how it's going to come to pass. But,
so are you misunderstanding prophecy now?
well,
Is that possible? Is it possible that you're misunderstanding it in this moment?
there's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, if that's on the table still, man, and the only way we have is like after the fact, that's not good. That's what we call like post hoc, man. Because after you claim something and then it doesn't work out, you then go back to the thing and go, oh, it was actually something different the whole time. Go ahead, Armin.
So this is a stupid game that if we accept these terms, you will always win, right? I will just now give you a couple of prophecies and just randomly come up with some predictions, and I will tell you that these are, if they're true, then you have to worship me as a god, okay? And if they don't come true, it doesn't show that I'm not God.
Right.
I will just give you another set of 4 other prophecies. And now we'll wait, and then, or just 1 prophecy, 2 prophecies, right? And then if they come true, now you have to, like, why should we take this seriously? Is if they come true, then you win, and if they don't come true, you don't lose. Like, what kind of a game is this?
Yeah.
Like, heads I win, tails you lose. That's basically the game that we're playing here. Either way, you come on top. Like, why should we take this seriously? You have made yourself immune from losing in this stupid game. It's become unfalsifiable. But go on.
Guys, you're going to see Jesus move before the end of the year, and you're going to know it's from God. When you see it, you're going to believe it.
So
when it doesn't happen, address it like an adult, Jason. You said we're going to see Jesus move at the end of the year, and it's going to be undeniable. So when it doesn't happen, you stop believing in God, right? Because that's the adult thing to do. Because when Armin and I see that and it's undeniable, we'll start believing in God. So why would you allow this obvious confirmation bias to prevent you from growing in your knowledge? Why would you allow this terrible, terrible methodology for thinking that Armin so beautifully laid out? Why would you allow that to stunt your ability to continue flourishing? Why would you do that, man? If that's presented to us and it's undeniable, Armin and I become believers on the spot. Why don't you have the same courtesy extended to yourself?
Okay. So the majority of prophecies happen exactly.
No, answer the question, dude. No, it's much simpler than that. You don't need to try to fabricate anything else, dude. Armin, let me ask you a question here. If there is undeniable proof, whatever that is for you, that God is real, do you start believing?
I mean, you just said undeniable. By definition, right. I have to start. Yes, so
right.
I would have to believe.
We would have to believe. We would be forced to believe. We couldn't have any other choice.
That's a trick question. You put undeniable in the question.
Of course it is, because that's what. Yeah, because of course it was a trick. Because I'm trying to. If you have something, Armin, that says this thing is from God, and this is going to occur because God is true, and then it doesn't occur. Does that make you think maybe that God's not real?
Yeah, I mean, it's a useless, it's a baseless. I mean, you can do this with anything. Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Jason, you ready? You're gonna play now. Okay, same crap questions. If you have undeniable proof that God is not real, do you stop believing?
No, we don't stop believing. I told you.
There you go. That's the problem. That's your problem. That's why I wanted to do that. That's why I wanted to lay it out like that. Because I was so confident that you were going to say no. I was confident Armin was going to be pedantic and go, well, yeah, of course I would have to believe if it's undeniable. But for you, Jason, when I ask that same question and I say undeniable proof that God doesn't exist, you already said, nope, I'm still believing. So this is a worthless game that you're playing with yourself just to make yourself feel better.
Does Jason know what undeniable means?
I'm not positive.
English is not my first language. I think Jason,
definitions
do you understand the meaning?
Definitions can be hard. We've got
undeniable. This actually, that's a very good line. I'm impressed with. Now I see where you were getting. I didn't see what you were. That was fantastic. That was beautifully done. Because this basically shows that the whole point of belief is not to actually understand reality. The point of belief is just the belief itself, not for it to be a reflection of objective reality.
This message from God that Jason has presented to us, he's bringing it here today to say, look at this, and when it comes true, you'll believe. But the problem is that he's not being honest. And I've still got you on hold, Jason. I haven't dropped you just yet, but I'm going to ask Armin if he has any other things, because you already gave us exactly what we needed there, man. You told us you weren't coming to this conversation honestly, because when presented with an absurd scenario, just like Armin was like, well, yeah, you forced my hand. Of course I believe, it's undeniable. In that scenario, when it was flipped against you, you just went, nah, man, I'm still believing whatever the hell I came to this conversation with, which means you're not being honest. You're not taking this seriously.
Let's ask him why.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Jason, that's fair. We'll bring you back,
If you are presented, I'm not sure if that's even possible, but let's say it was.
Right.
If you were given undeniable proof that God doesn't exist, why would you still believe in God? This is going to be a frustrating answer, I'm pretty sure. Unmute.
Yeah, he's unmuted.
Listen, once in a while, things don't happen exactly how they're prophesied, but the majority of the time they do. That's what I'm
answer my question. Why? I know it was going to be frustrating, and by frustrating, I mean just ignore the question entirely and just talk about something else, okay? Jason, my question is, you said that if you were provided with undeniable proof that God doesn't exist, okay, you will still believe in God. I'm saying why? Can you answer that question?
Because God has spoken to me in my dreams, and that's not heard directly.
That's not the point. That's not the question.
Yeah.
That's not the question.
Yeah.
Okay,
what you're doing is you're going back to a deniable proof. You're going back to the reason that Armin and I are specifically putting this into a really, really tiny box is because there really is only one answer here, which is, yes, I'm forced to believe or not believe because the proof was undeniable. You can't get out of the question by saying, yeah, but sometimes people just don't understand their hallucinations well. Yeah, then it's not undeniable. I don't know. Armin, we got other really good.
Then you basically what SR just said is that you're denying something that you just categorize it as undeniable yourself by accepting the premises, and then you went on and denying it. So you just denied what you yourself called undeniable. Right. I don't know. I think he doesn't understand. I think Jason doesn't understand what we're saying here. Maybe I don't think he's like.
Here's what we'll do, because we have some other really good calls too. Jason, I am glad that you gave us this message. We will be on the lookout for sure for the rest of the year. I know we might have gone a little hard on you, but I do hope in January you will call us back and just own up to it if this stuff doesn't come through, and just be like, hey, at the very least I was wrong, because that'd be cool, even though you won't stop believing for whatever reason. But hey, if we're wrong, I'll tell you this right here, right now, and it is on record. And I know the wonderful producers are really, really good at making me stick to my word when I say stupid things like this. So if any and all of that comes true by the end of the year, I will guarantee in January 2025, I make a public service announcement talking about how I was fucking wrong. And maybe Jason's a prophet, but I'm doubting it, Jason.